Let me tell you something that might sting a little. Nobody cares about your excuses, your problems, your past, your reasons why you're trying but not succeeding. Irrelevant. The world doesn't reward intentions. It rewards results. You want success? You want success? Then earn it. You want power, wealth, respect? Then prove you deserve it. Nobody is coming to save you. Not your friends, not your family, not some motivational guru. This is on you. Excuses are for the weak. You say you're tired? Good. Work tired. You say you're broke? Then hustle harder. You say you don't have time? Cut the crap. You have time for Netflix. You have time for scrolling. You have time to be average. But not time to build your empire? Come on. If you're not where you want to be, it's because you've accepted less. You've made peace with mediocrity. But I'm telling you, if you really want it, you'll find a way. You'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. This world respects discipline. It respects work ethic. It respects results. You either dominate or you get dominated. That's the game. And life doesn't wait for anyone. So stop whining. Stop blaming. Stop blaming. Stop talking. Get up. Show up. Be relentless. Feldman. Just results. Excuses are the lies we tell ourselves to justify why we're not where we want to be. They're comfortable. They make failure feel softer. They give you something to lean on so you don't have to face the brutal truth. You didn't do what needed to be done. And deep down, you know it. You know when you chose sleep over hustle. You know when you quit early instead of pushing through. And instead of owning it, you dressed it up in excuses. I'm too tired. I didn't have time. It's not my fault. But here's the reality. Excuses don't move you forward. They don't build success. They don't fix your situation. All they do is delay your potential and reinforce your weakness. Action, on the other hand, is the great equalizer. It doesn't care about where you started, how hard life is, or how unfair things might seem. When you take action, you take control. You flip the switch from victim to warrior. Even if you fail while acting, you're still 10 times ahead of the person sitting there making excuses. Action creates momentum. It builds proof. You start stacking wins, small or big, and those wins turn into habits, and those habits start shifting your entire reality. You can't think or wish your way to success. You have to act your way into it. Most people are stuck because they talk more than they do. They make plans but never execute. Plans but never execute. They read books but never apply. They watch motivational videos but never take the first real step. Why? Because talking is easy. Watching is passive, but action requires courage. It demands accountability. It forces you to confront your limitations and stretch beyond them. That's why so many hide behind excuses, because they're scared of what real effort might expose. They fear the discomfort of growth. But what they don't realize is that inaction is the real pain, the slow death of potential. Look around. Every successful person you admire has one thing in common. They didn't let excuses define them. They acted, even when it was hard. Even when they were broke, tired, or doubted. They didn't wait for the perfect time. They made the time. They didn't cry about the odds. They played the game anyway. It's not because they were lucky or had it easy. It's because they chose action over excuses. Again and again. That's the difference maker. That's the blueprint. That's the blueprint. If you want to be someone who wins, someone who dominates in your space, you need to kill your excuses like your life depends on it. Because it does. Every time you choose action over an excuse, you're building the kind of person who gets results. You're training your mind to stop negotiating with weakness. You're proving to yourself that you're not average, you're not lazy, and you're not soft. You're someone who moves. Someone who gets it done. Someone who understands that excuses change nothing. But action changes everything. Success isn't emotional. It doesn't care if you were tired, if your childhood was rough, if your environment was toxic, or if life threw you a curveball. Success is cold, calculated, and brutally fair. It rewards outcomes, not intentions. You could have the best reasons in the world for why you didn't make it, and still lose. Because success isn't about what you meant to do. It's about what you meant to do. It's about what you actually did. That's the game. You either delivered results, or you didn't. There's no trophy for almost. There's no applause for good effort. You win, or you don't. End of story. Most people live in a dream world where they think trying hard is enough. It's not. Trying is a minimum expectation. It's a given. It's the bare entry fee. Success demands execution. It wants proof. And the harsh part? It doesn't differentiate between why you failed and the fact that you failed. If you miss the mark, whether by laziness or tragedy, the outcome is the same. No result. That's why you can't lean on stories, struggles, or sympathy to build your empire. You can share them when you've made it, but while you're climbing, you better be producing. People want the world to understand their pain, their past, their pressure. But success doesn't understand feelings. It understands numbers, work rate, consistency, performance. It doesn't care if your back was against the wall. It only asks, did you make it happen or not? And listen, life isn't fair. Some people start ahead. Some have better tools, better networks, better luck. But that doesn't mean the world stops for you. It keeps spinning. It keeps moving. And if you're not pushing forward, if you're not producing results, it leaves you behind. No one's pausing the game to give you a break. The winners, they don't ask for sympathy. They ask, what's the next move? They get hit, but they keep building. They don't waste energy explaining why they couldn't. They double down and show that they can. They know the scoreboard doesn't track effort. It tracks outcomes. So they reverse engineer results. They get strategic. And strategic. They get gritty. They don't care about winning. Because at the end of the day, when it's time to cash the check, the only thing that matters is, did you get it done or not? This is the mindset shift most people never make. They stay stuck in their emotions, hoping the world will slow down long enough to notice how hard it's been. But the truth is brutal. Success has zero patience for excuses, delays, or emotional validation. It respects action, discipline, and execution. It rewards those who figure it out, not those who explain why they couldn't. So you can either keep telling your story, or you can change the ending. But understand this. Success doesn't care about your reasons, only your outcomes. The version of you that levels up isn't born in comfort. It's built in chaos. The problem is, most people avoid discomfort like it's the plague. They don't want to feel awkward. They don't want to fail. They don't want to be seen struggling. So they play small, they stay in their lane. They do what's familiar, not what's necessary. And then they wonder why nothing changes. You don't get growth without tension. You don't get confidence without first earning it through action. You don't become sharp, strong, and resilient by hiding in your safe zone. You become those things by doing hard shit daily, by chasing challenge like it owes you something. You have to start getting comfortable being uncomfortable. That's the key. Every time you choose to lean into discomfort, whether it's a cold shower, a hard conversation, a painful workout, or a massive risk, you're expanding your limits. You're training your nervous system to stop flinching. You're building grit, clarity, courage. Discomfort becomes your training ground. You're sharpening stone. You start seeking it, not avoiding it, because you finally realize that's where the edge is. That's where you stop being average and start becoming a weapon. If you're always choosing what feels good, you'll never become what's great. Comfort keeps you predictable. Discomfort builds your power. The challenge is simple. Do the thing you don't want to do. Every day. Step toward the friction. Stop coddling yourself. Every excuse to stay comfortable is a chain holding you back. Break that chain. Walk into the fire. Because comfort is the enemy of growth, and the uncomfortable path is the one that leads to power. Motivation is a scam. It's a burst of energy that fades the second life punches you in the mouth. One bad day, one setback, one moment of doubt, and your motivation disappears. That's why you can't rely on it. People wait around for motivation like it's some magical fuel that'll make them take action. I'm not feeling it today. So what? Nobody cares how you feel. What matters is what you do. And the only thing that guarantees consistent action, regardless of how you feel, is discipline. Discipline shows up when motivation taps out. Discipline doesn't care about emotions. It follows orders. You think champions train when they're excited every day? You think the top 1% always feel like it? Hell no. They get up when it sucks. They show up when it's boring. They perform when it hurts. Because they're not driven by feelings. They're driven by standards. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when the fire's not burning. That's the separation. That's what builds machines. Anyone can work hard when they're pumped up after a podcast. Few can grind when the silence is heavy, and there's no spotlight on them. That's discipline, and that's where real results are born. Motivation is mood-based. It's like the weather. It changes every hour. But discipline is a code. It's a decision you've made about who you are and how you move. It becomes part of your identity. You don't skip the gym because you're tired, because in your world, you don't skip. You don't skip the work because you had a rough day, because in your world, you do the work no matter what. You don't negotiate with weakness, because discipline has already made the decision for you. Motivation gives you permission to quit. Discipline gives you no option but to keep going. Here's the difference. Motivation is hype. Discipline is execution. Motivation can spark a dream. Discipline builds the empire. Everyone talks about their goals when they're motivated. Very few are still working on them 6 months later. Why? Because they didn't build the muscle that actually matters. Consistency under pressure. You want to be elite? Then stop chasing hype and start mastering habits. Set your schedule. Stick to your plan. Stick to your plan. Move like a machine. Be the kind of person who gets it done, not the kind who only works when it's sunny outside. Discipline isn't glamorous. It's not sexy. It's reps, routine, and ruthless commitment. It's choosing structure over impulse. It's saying no to distractions, temptations, and comfort zones. Comfort zones. It's showing up tired, showing up angry, showing up when no one's watching. And that's why it's rare. But that's also why it wins. Discipline is what separates the talkers from the takers. You can be motivated for a moment, or you can be disciplined for a lifetime. And if you want to dominate, the choice is obvious. People love to say, I don't have time. It's the go-to excuse of the average. But let's be real. You have time. You're just wasting it. You scroll for hours. You binge shows. You gossip, overthink, procrastinate, and repeat. The truth isn't that you're short on time. It's that you're long on distractions. Every single person on this planet gets 24 hours. Same clock. Same minutes. Some use it to build empires. Others use it to complain. So don't tell anyone you don't have time. Tell them you've chosen other things instead. Because that's what it is. A choice. Your time reflects your values. Look at your schedule, and it'll show you what matters to you. Not what you say matters, but what you actually prioritize. If you say you want to get fit, but you haven't touched a gym in weeks, guess what? It's not a time issue. It's a priority issue. If you say you want to be rich, but spend your evenings numbing yourself with entertainment, then money isn't what you want. Comfort is. Stop lying to yourself. Stop pretending you're a victim of your own calendar. If something really mattered, you'd make room for it. No one is too busy. You're just not focused. High performers don't find time. They make time. They cut what's unnecessary. They wake up early, stay up late, and bend the day to their mission. They treat time like currency, and they don't spend it on anything that doesn't move them forward. If you're serious about success, you need to start treating your time like it's sacred. Guard it. Protect it. Stop saying yes to every invite, every distraction, every dopamine hit. Because every time you say yes to something weak, you say no to something powerful. That's how people stay broke, unfulfilled, and lost. They mismanage their minutes. The harsh part? Nobody's going to fix it for you. No one's coming to reorganize your life. That's your job? Look. You want different results? Audit your time. Write it down. Track where every hour goes. You'll be shocked at how much of it you're throwing away. Then be ruthless. Cut the junk. Eliminate the time leeches. Replace them with moves that matter. Learning, building, executing. Make your time align with your goals, not your excuses. Because when your priorities are right, everything shifts. Clarity rises. Progress becomes predictable. And you stop running in circles like everyone else. The truth is simple but brutal. You're not busy. You're just undisciplined. You're not overwhelmed. You're just scattered. And you're not out of time. You're out of alignment. Fix your focus, and time stops being your enemy. It becomes your weapon. Every minute starts compounding. Every day starts building. You stop living reactive and start living strategic. That's how killers move. That's how winners think. Because they know time isn't the problem. Priorities are. Every day, you're faced with a simple choice. Move forward or make an excuse. That's it. No third option, no middle ground. You can either stack results or stack reasons. You can't have both. People love to act like their situation is complicated. You don't understand it's not that simple. But it is that simple. You either took the action or you didn't. You either made the call, hit the workout, closed the deal, or you made an excuse why you couldn't. One path leads to momentum. The other keeps you stuck, justifying your stagnation. One builds winners. The other builds regret. Excuses are a drug. They numb the sting of failure for a moment, but they destroy you long term. You feel better telling yourself why it didn't work out, It wasn't the right time. I'm too tired. I've got too much going on. But deep down, you know that's all smoke. You know you didn't do what needed to be done. And instead of owning that and fixing it, you grabbed an excuse to protect your ego. That's how mediocrity becomes a lifestyle. One excuse at a time. Every time you run from accountability, you train your brain to accept failure as normal. Progress doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care if you were in the mood, if you were tired, or if you had other stuff going on. Progress rewards those who move. To find a way, every small step you take compounds. And the momentum you build starts changing who you are. Suddenly, you're not the guy making excuses, you're the one everyone else is making excuses about. You become the standard. Become the standard because while they were explaining why they couldn't, you were proving you could. And that's the separation. Action over alibi. You don't get to play both sides. You can't talk about how hungry you are for success and then make excuses the moment life gets inconvenient. You can't post about goals and then ghost on the grind. The world doesn't respond to what you say. It responds to what you do. So you need to decide. Are you building or are you bullshitting? Are you moving forward or are you hiding behind reasons that make failure feel justified? Because one leads to power, the other leads to pity. And no one respects the guy who talks big and folds small. Every time you choose an excuse, you rob yourself of progress. You trade growth for comfort. You choose weakness over strength. When you show up tired, broke, doubted, disrespected, and still get it done. That's when you become dangerous. That's when you prove to yourself and the world that you're not like the rest, that you don't break, that you don't negotiate with average. Because in this game, you either make progress or you make excuses, never both. You want to be a winner? Then shut your mouth and get to work. The loudest in the room are usually the weakest. They're the ones constantly announcing what they're going to do, what they plan to achieve, what their big goals are. But real ones don't talk. They deliver. They don't broadcast every move, every plan, every step. They move in silence. They train in the dark. They execute without validation. Because they understand something most people never will. The grind is private, but the success is public. You don't need to speak about it if you're busy being about it. People waste more energy trying to look successful than actually becoming successful. They post quotes, fake hustle, document half efforts, and expect praise for intentions. But winners don't need that. They don't crave the claps. They don't need a crowd. They let results slap people in the face. A six-figure bank statement, a carved physique, a thriving brand. That's the real flex. And it hits different when no one saw it coming. When they thought you disappeared, but you were actually building. We were actually building. When they laughed because you went quiet, not realizing silence is the sound of a focused killer. Every second you spend explaining your hustle is a second you're not hustling. Keep your head down, stay unpredictable, stay obsessed. When the spotlight's off you, that's when you're most dangerous, because that's when the real work happens. While everyone else is performing for likes, you're sharpening your weapons. While they're chasing hype, you're building legacy. No noise, just effort. No show, just results. And by the time they realize what you've built, too late. You're already miles ahead. But silence doesn't mean weakness. It means you're not here to impress. You're here to dominate. It means you're not wasting time convincing anyone. You're outgrowing explanations. Your lifestyle becomes the proof. Your mindset becomes untouchable. And the ones who used to doubt you, they start asking how you did it. But by then, the door's closed. The gap is too wide. Because while they were busy talking, you were busy transforming. Winners don't throw hints. They drop results. Hard, loud, undeniable. You want respect? Earn it through action. You want impact? Create it in silence. You don't need to shout when your results scream for you. Stay low. Move different. Be unshakable, unbothered, and unannounced. Because real power isn't noisy. It's undeniable. And the ones who make the most noise, they usually don't last. But the ones who move in silence and let their results speak, they leave legacies. So here's the bottom line. Nobody's stopping you but you. Not your past, not your circumstances, not the people who doubted you. The only thing between you and the life you want is your ability to shut up, show up, and do the damn work. No more complaining. No more blaming. No more blaming. No more waiting for permission or motivation. You want something? Go earn it. You want respect? Go build it. You want results? Go take them. Because in the end, it's not the loudest who win. It's not the smartest, the luckiest, or the most liked. It's the most relentless. The one who outworks everyone. The one who stays locked in when others get lazy. The one who never needed excuses because they were too busy creating results. No one owes you anything, but you owe it to yourself to rise, to level up, to make your existence count. So, kill the distractions. Burn the excuses. Embrace the discomfort. And execute like your life depends on it. Because it does. This world doesn't reward intentions. It rewards execution. No excuses, just results.